Good evening and welcome to this broadcast here tonight for a test session for the upcoming 12-round Performance Link Championship. We're not actually streaming from Watkin Glen, so don't get too disheartened by that. But what we are looking at now is a 4-hour endurance race around the Nordschleife, looking at the Performance Link team of Tom Bingham and Russ Fowler, trying to do their best to see what they can do around the Nordschleife here. We are well into the race at the moment. Tom has done 5 laps, coming up to the end of his 6th lap, and does have 1 lap left to go. But we can actually join Tom Bingham now on his lap, and we'll see how he's getting on. So here's Tom at the moment, literally just coming down to the end of his lap down that extremely long straight down the end of the Nordschleife, extremely fast part of the track. And as you can see, Tom's pretty much on his own at the moment, 8 seconds behind the car in front, and 4.2 seconds is the car behind Tom at the moment. As you can see, the front of that Mercedes has got a little bit of damage from an earlier incident in the race. But yeah, it's going quite well at the moment. He is currently in P22, down 1 position from where he started on the grid. But obviously with these endurance races in the Nordschleife being an extremely long lap, you know, anything can happen around here. It's very much all about keeping the car on track and making sure you try to be as fast as you can, but as consistent as you can. So Tom literally started his last lap here. Russ will be in the car next, so we'll just follow Tom here, and see how he gets on in his last lap. So we'll just have a look on board from Tom's perspective as he's going around the GP circuit. Obviously the shorter layout here for the GP before he gets back out onto the Nordschleife. Absolutely treacherous track, as a lot of people probably are aware of. This track can be very treacherous going in. Them curbs are a killer. I think I've attempted this track once, managed to get halfway around, and then absolutely killed my car. But you can see down the rest of the field, Tom's well in no man's land at the moment, so pretty much hasn't got any cars around him to distract him from his lap time. So no pressure there, Tom. I'm expecting some a decent lap time from you, but let's just have a look further down the field, and we're pretty much spread out, but we'll have a quick look at the leader at the moment, Sven Rosler, in a Mercedes, in the BMW actually. So the field heavily Mercedes and BMWs. I do not believe, very true, we do not have any other classes apart from the Mercedes and the BMW, but you can see here Sven just doing an excellent job, 17 seconds ahead of Pfeiffer there in 2nd place, so really extended his lead. So it's currently around halfway point on his 7th lap here, and I'd imagine he'll be coming in after this lap with a healthy handover to the rest of the to whoever's taking over in his field. So if we'll look at probably the closest battle at the moment is Jacob Harrington trying to chase down Christian Dams in front of him. You can see there. So this is a straight Mercedes versus BMW battle for P6 at the moment, between Christian Dams and Jacob Harrington. Just looking further down the field, it looks like we have Florin here, Wilderman in P17th at the moment, pretty much out on the battle. There's no real heavy battles apart from that one. Can look again here. There is a little bit of a battle here for P12 between Daniel Jürgen, Edward Telroll. A little bit of a gap there between them two, but not a lot, around about 1.5 seconds. Looking back for just behind them, Hendrik Alberts is just behind Edward Terrell as well. So this is probably the closest battle that we got out on track at the moment between 12th, 13th, 14th. Just you can see just in the background of the screen there, just in the pictures at the back. But yeah, so pretty much spread out. The field have had all issues to start off with, getting a little bit spread out now. As we join further back down the field in P27 with Andy Corsa, just trying to catch Verfel in front in P26. So there's little pocket battles throughout the field at the moment, but a lot of drivers having a lot of space to be able to just get the laps consistent, and that's one of the big things as we join back with Tom here. Currently nearly halfway through his last lap before he hands over to Russ as he goes in to the car for the first time. I'm not sure how Russ is feeling, but let's see if we can actually drag him in. Russ, are you there, mate? Russ, are you there? Can you hear me? No, it seems that we have lost Russ. So obviously getting a little bit nervous there. We won't bother Tom at the moment. We will hopefully get him when he changes over to go into the car and see how his stint went. But yeah, Russ pretty much got a lot of time between himself and a lot of thought to himself. But here we do have a little bit of a battle going on here. We got Samir Vivare being closely chased by Andy Corsia in the BMW. So it's very much BMW and Mercedes battles that are going. None of the same classes are really battling it out. But what does look, and I do stand corrected here, it looks like there is a big battle at the moment for P12 on track between the two Mercedes drivers. Edward Terrell at the moment and Hendrik Alberts too are in quite a lot of pursuit. There is two cars behind, as you can see on the overlay there, just trying to catch up with the field. But yeah, it's heating up now. As you can see there, the race, we're 54 minutes into a 4-hour race, so still 3 hours to go, so anything can happen. And I'm pretty sure, being a Nordschleifer, it will happen when we go through. But looking back at Tom at the moment, coming 3/4 of the way through the lap at the moment. So let's see where he is out on track. As you can see him there, just about to come down into the dot in the hole. So onto the last part of the section is Tom at the moment. So he's just coming down to the last carousel, I believe. Yeah, and then he will be heading out onto that long straight, coming down to finish what will be his stint, and coming into the pit. So really trying to push on at the moment. But it's just such an amazing track that you can see the pictures, the undulating factors of this track, quite narrow. You know, you've really got to be precise with your steering inputs, your acceleration, brake points, to be able to maximize the speed and use, as you see Tom there, literally using all the track to try and maximize his speed at the moment. But yeah, it's all going good for Tom. Currently in P22, so midway part. We've got 57 cars in this field, so in the top half of the grid, and I'm pretty sure that is where he wanted to be coming into this race overall. But it's all interesting at the moment to find out what's Tom's thoughts on his stint in the car. But obviously, just tell you a bit of news about the upcoming championship. You know, it's a 12-round GT3 Cup Challenge, and we got 3 different formats. So we have 3 races per month for a 4-month period starting on the 2nd of October. So we have 2 30-minute sprint sessions, 1-hour race, And then we do have 2 endurance 2-hour races in this season as well, one at Spa and one at Le Mans. So classic endurance tracks for you to get your teeth into. So if you want a little bit more information, just head over to the Performance Link Esports Discord channel. Just have to join there and get on the grid. The grid's starting to fill up with some very familiar names, so it's going to be an absolute epic season to behold out on track. So we'll sort of see if Tom is there. Tom, are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here, Andy. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How's obviously we just seen you out on track, mate, and just finished your stint. How was it for you, mate?
Yeah, sweaty, sweaty. Honestly, I forgotten how difficult this track is, and how demanding it really is.
So what was? I mean, obviously we didn't capture it on screen, but we you had a little bit of an incident at the start. Can you just explain what happened there and why the car's damaged?
Yeah, just coming around turn 2. Unfortunately, there was a car that got T-boned in front of us and blocked the track. So we ended up having nowhere to go and a bit of front contact. And then I made a slight error a little later on, and we got a little bit of rear damage as well. So, but I mean, the car's driving well, still fairly competitive, and Russ is going to go out now and hopefully be able to put a few laps in.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as we can just see Rush trundling down at the pit lane there to start his lap. I'd imagine he's quite nervous, Tom, because it is one of them tracks that's really daunting. Certainly, if you've not got a lot of experience around here, and mistakes are easily to come by around this track.
Yeah, definitely. The worst thing with this track is obviously the killer curbs at Nürburgring. You know, they're massive and they do actually resemble sausages, which is accurate for the name that they carry. But it's if you get offline, you hit any curbs on the faster sections of the track, you can have a really bad day really quickly. So hopefully Russ can keep it together, take it easy, and and focus on getting his line hammered out for the first part of the lap here. So.
Yeah. I think that's certainly it, isn't it, Tom? Is getting yourself into a groove around this track. It's such a long track, as we saw, around about 6 to 8 minutes is probably the average from Aliens, around about 6 minutes plus. Normal races, 7 to 8 minutes is probably the time that you're looking at around here. So, Russ got his little bit of a target as we watch him there, just passing another Mercedes getting out of his way. So, it's going to be interesting. It's almost a battle, isn't it, between yourself and the track? Very much not the rest of the drivers. That's where you win or lose around this track, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know right now he'll be taking a really deep breath at this section of the track at the very beginning of the green hell, and trying to get his mind focused on making those apexes. And looks like we've got a yellow flag incident potentially down the track here. Hopefully that's cleared up. Fingers crossed. But yeah, no, he'll just be sort of getting his focus, getting his groove, and trying to hit those lines. Oh, he is approaching a slower Mercedes in front, actually. That looks like the car of Edward Terrell.
Certainly is, and that's obviously a lot. I suppose that as well, you got to watch all these cars, as we can see as we're riding on board with Russ here. There's not a lot of move to make the passing moves done, so you really got to rely on the other car giving you a little bit of extra room when you're doing the overtakes, and then also picking the opportunities to make the mistake, because if you try to overtake at a wrong point round here, that's literally could be a race ender, isn't it?
Yeah, one trouble with this track is you're going at points you're touching towards the 200-mile-an-hour mark, and unfortunately the track is as wide as a pencil. There's room for 2 cars, and that is literally it at most spots on the track. A lot of hidden blind crests and things, and you've really got to know your way around before you want to send it in for a pass. You can get caught out very, very quickly around here. So.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I suppose that's why I do the commentating and basically not drive the race, because I think I'd probably end up killing myself on the first lap on this track. I know the first half not too bad because of able to do that. But I don't think I've been able to manage to get around the second half to get some confidence of knowing where the track is going to go. And I think I would be on the latter end of 10 minutes plus around this track around the second. Oh, as we see there, Russ taking it wide, coming down into that section there. Obviously, it's a bit treacherous if you touch that grass too much. It can spin you, but Russ managing to keep it well. He's going all well at the moment, but he's really using a lot of them curbs at the moment, and it's something he needs to be aware of, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing I found oh, he's off. He's off. Oh, can he save it? Can he save it? Good lad. Yeah. Watch out for the cars coming up behind. Yeah, I was about to say one thing I found as well, especially which has just happened to him there. The tires take an awfully long time to heat up on the Mercedes. So you're getting big bouts of understeer on corners where normally you'd hope there would be decent aero and that grip you would assume would come with the cambered track. But unfortunately, he's pushed it a bit wide there and made a little kiss on the barrier. So hope it's not affected his steering, but you never know.
Yeah, well, he looks like he's going pretty straight at the moment, but really probably trying to push a little bit too more. But obviously, the reason for this broadcast, Tom, is we're just doing a little bit, just checking the overlay, make sure everything is good on it, and we've got a new championship, a brand new championship coming up next Sunday. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and what we're going to expect to see here on Performance Link channel?
Yeah, so basically we've got our debut GT3 Cup season. We've got 12 races with 3 different race formats. We're looking at potentially running 4 racing divisions if the numbers allow, but we want to try and offer prizes to all and open up things to have even a rookie class, because a lot of people sort of worry about getting into league racing and worry about the potential the potential hazards that come with racing along with some of the pros, like the likes of Scott Mokes or Thomas Cope or any of the bigger names that are out there. So we wanted to offer a package that's a decent price, good prizes, and open to everybody. We've also tried to throw in as many good tracks as we can. So out of those 12 races, we've got some of the classics. We got Watkins Glen, obviously, which is one of your favourites. Sebring, which is one of mine. We've got Silverstone, Donny, Nürburgring, like we are right now. We've got Spa, Fuji, Suzuka, Daytona International, Red Bull Ring, Interlagos, and finishing off at the Circuit de la Sarthe at the old 24 Hours Le Mans.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you mentioned there some really good tracks. Obviously, the other good thing, I think, is having the fixed setup. A lot of people struggle getting the setup, and a lot of the leagues follow the official, and you don't really probably go to the tracks that you really want to. So I suppose having the fixed setup, you're not constrained by following the official series for the guys to be able to get a setup. So pretty much you can pick and choose whatever you want, and looking at the schedule, it's all the classic tracks that everybody loves on iRacing, and you were mentioning there as well, obviously you've got a 4th class, never heard of in any league that I've certainly seen on iRacing, a rookie class. So we've got Pro-Am, Am, and Rookie to really entice, like you were saying, the lower end of the iRacing spectrum, the guys that feel that there's nothing out there for them. This league will certainly give them something to get the teeth into.
Yeah, definitely. We've also got a very, very unique scoring system. So, it's actually based around your position in your class as opposed to your overall position. So, no matter where you are on track, you can be competitive with the people that are in your group. So it's not like, if you've got an AM that happens to finish first and the rest of the AMs finish, 40 plus, they're not going to gain a ginormous amount of room over the other AMs. It's going to keep the contest nice and close through the entire season. So it's something unique to Performance Link that we're trying to do, and trying to make it fun for everybody, no matter what your ability is, and introduce even the lower I raters, and also attract the pros to some competitive racing. So we've already got some big names signed up already. So we're really looking forward to that. But we've also got some newcomers. So everything's shaping up nicely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want, isn't it? You want the high players at the front, but you also need the people sort of towards the mid and the back end of the field, fighting for their own championship, because they're the real the meat and potatoes of any racing league, is getting the new blood in, keeping them entertained. Even if you're not winning the races, that you're really enjoying the races. But I suppose with the fixed setups and the obvious tracks, is that everybody should have some sort of level of experience on the tracks to be able to get the job done, I suppose, and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want it to be fun for everybody. That's the one thing with sim racing. I've met some amazing people through sim racing. Like, I met yourself, Andy, through doing a race with Mission Motorsport, which was really really good for charity. I've met loads of amazing people, and sim racing can be that way if you join a group that's open to newcomers and open to sort of pros as well. We don't want to just have it sort of finite for the people on the pointy end of sim racing. We want it to be open to everybody.
There is, and I've just noticed that Mark Icant has just crashed. So let's have a quick look and see what happened to Mark here. So we'll have a look at see if he's just on. Where is he on the track here? It looks like he's actually. Oh, he just took the grass. He's on the GP circuit there. Luckily, did see a car behind him, as we saw there, literally just slowing down enough. So Mark did the correct job and standing still. But luckily, he spun on a place where there is actually room on track to spin off. Obviously, once he gets on the green hell, there's not a lot of places that if you do come off the track, that you're not going to get some damage. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I got lucky there. Normally when you spin at the Nürburgring, you're going to find a wall somewhere. So to spin and not contact anything is definitely a bit of stroke of luck. So I just noticed that Russ is actually tracking down the car in front of him a bit now. He's probably about 2.5, 3 seconds behind Theophil Salnave of Gripworks Racing. So hopefully you can track him down. Oh, we have a car off on the grass there to the left.
I think you'll have cars stranded all over the place around this track. Oh, there, as we see one of the bottom markers just getting out of the race. But exactly like that, it's 2.7 seconds behind the the American in P22. He's in the BMW car, so was lucky actually that he did have about 3 or 4 cars behind him that were chasing him down, which probably giving a little breathe, but they look like they've gone into the pits to do their pit stop to be able to get fresh tyres and some more fuel. So that was probably giving him a little bit of breathing space. So he's got a 2.8 second gap to Samuel behind him in another Mercedes, but then has a 3 second gap, so that gap seems to be sort of fluctuating a little bit. But I suppose that's the thing with this track, Tom, is there's going to be sections of the track you're going to be fast, and there's going to be sections of the track you're going to be slower. I mean, there's literally 10 sectors, timed sectors on this track, so I mean it's absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's interesting with a track that's so long, and I believe it's over 130 corners that you go around. You're going to have sections where some drivers are incredibly quick, and then you're going to have others where you can reel them in. So you can easily gain 10 seconds on somebody in a lap, just depending on where you might be fast and where they might be slow. So, and with the really really long straights that you have, you want to be able to get the good runs on those sections. And it's incredible how a little bit of pressure applied from the car behind can really really hamper somebody's line and slow them down and put them within striking range.
Yes, we're just looking on board now with Samuel, who seems to be closing down on Russ, only 1.9 seconds behind Russ. We just saw Russ there go into the stream just in front. So Samuel's really trying to chase down, as you can see there, the gap coming down all the time. So Russ will have Samuel in his mirrors. But I suppose the factor between you two guys is you just want to make it around here. It's 4 hours race, 1 hour into this race, so still plenty of time to go for a lot of incidents to happen. So I'd imagine he wouldn't probably defend too hard if Samuel did manage to get onto the back end of him.
Yeah, I mean Samuel's very likely to reel us in quite quickly. Looking at his car, it's in pristine shape, which is very rare for this track. So he's going to be benefiting from the good aero and the good top speed that comes along with having a clean car. So I know with the bit of damage that we've encountered, Russ could be a bit of a sitting duck here. So we'll have to see how this progresses and see if Samuel can reel Russ in. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Well, if he does, it's not the end of a day. But thanks for joining us, Tom. We'll let you have a little bit of a preview. I'm sure we'll catch up with you a little bit later on. But we'll see the progress that Russ makes. But thanks for joining us here in the box to give us your insight on the new championship and this race in its entirety.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to yourself and any of the Performance Link broadcast team. So thanks for having me, and we'll catch up soon.
Definitely. Cheers, mate. There was Tom, obviously one of the organisers for the new league as well, and pretty much the head of Performance Link. I'm very much the body and the behind, I think, when it comes to doing all the dog work. But I really enjoy doing the commentary. But yeah, we're looking at the moment between Samuel Fafali there, just trying to chase down Russ Fowler in P21. So it does seem to be closing the gap down quite quickly. On there's literally just behind Russ at the moment, so putting a lot of pressure at Samuel. So Russ probably will let him pass, but we'll have a look. So if we just ride on board and just have a look of Sam Fafali here. Oh, he's actually, sorry, my mistake. He's managed to get past. So this probably will give Russ somebody quite quick to chase as we go on board with Russ in a Performance Link car. So talking there to Tom as we missed the passing move. So probably Russ, like we said, got out of the way. But now he does have somebody to chase and follow. So he will see the lines to be able to cut. As long as Samuel makes the right lines, then Rush should be okay. But I mean, it's just amazing how you see these cars just jumping over the track. It's just so undulated. Obviously, pretty much real life to the real life Nordschleifer, including all the graffiti that you can see on the tarmac as well. So it's an interesting track to follow, as we said. And like we said, this track is in our championship as well. It's I think that one's only an hour long race that we've got around here, but still plenty of laps to be had, round about 6 to 10 laps within an hour long race, depending on the speed that you go around here. But just looking up and down the field, looks like there's a good battle on for P17th at the moment between Tobias and Nerdveld at the moment. So we can look back and we can see that my mistake, it wasn't Tobias and Nerdveld, it's Nerdveld and Mark Eichart. They're just having a bit of a battle for P18th at the moment. Mark up currently 36 positions from where he started. I believe that is the biggest gainer in the field at the moment. So that team certainly on a charge is Mark. And the teams there from, looks like it's from Spain. He's Mark is there, that flag. I'm not very much that good on my flags, but I would say that is the Spanish flag. But there's Mark starting another lap, starting lap number 10 here at the Nordschleife. So currently 10 laps into this race. Everybody's made their first initial pit stops. A couple of drivers have gone into the pits twice, but that would very much be probably for repairs further down the field. But some big winners and big losers. I think the biggest loser at the moment is Jacob Harrington, currently in 49th position, and I believe, I think he is probably decided to take a rest there, as well as Stephen Christiansen in 52. So probably a high rate of attrition that we will get on this track going out on there, but it's going to be interesting nonetheless to see how many finish the end of this race. Probably won't do this broadcast to the end, but certainly doing it for a little bit of time just to get a flavour, look at the overlays, make sure that they're all good. And obviously the timing tower, make sure it is as we want it really for the start of the new GT3 Cup championship that we do have coming our way. But let's have a quick look back with Russ, see how he's getting on. He seems to be lost the time to Samuel in front, 3.6 seconds now. Sam, you can see him there just going out of the distance. So Russ very much just needs to keep himself on track now. He does have a 3-second lead over the car behind in P23, but still in the top half of the field. And like we say, it's all valuable experience. This is the 4-hour endurance on iRacing that's currently going on. As we see Russ go there extremely wide at the start of the green hell as he comes down into the things where he can really let this Mercedes stretch its legs on this section, literally flat out coming down this for probably a good 3 or 4 turns, but it's really brave. It's quite scary coming down this and trying to literally keep on the throttle, because you know your mind and your head tells you to let the throttle go. And yeah, but it's one of them tracks everybody sort of loves. And you know, it's always a staple, as we can see with the amount of cars that we had in this race. So probably around about 120 people, or 120 teams, should I say, have joined to try and do this race, one of the endurance series on the official. But you know, Russ doing a half decent job. His last lap was an 8:01. So just looking at the players around him, the one in front, Samuel, only did an 8 minutes 47. So wasn't that far ahead, only 1.5 seconds faster than Russ. But the car behind, Rafael Hinson, was 7:57, so around about 3-4 seconds. And as we can see, it's starting to catch, only 1.78 seconds behind Russ at the moment. So I'm pretty sure we'll see Rafael close that gap, but then behind him it's around about 7.3 seconds behind. So he's doing well here. Russ, obviously very new to the Nordschleife to try and get that speed, but seems to be doing and holding his own very much. A lot of them, the top drivers currently in P1, doing a 7:49, 7:51s, with the mid-pack doing round about 8 minutes, 8 minute 1 second. So certainly keeping pace with the mid-pack section is Russ at the moment. So it's all going well at this moment in time. So currently 1 hour 18 into this race, this 4-hour race. Probably stick around to the end of Russ's stint here and see how he gets on, as we see the BMW there of Rafael just closing that gap very, very quickly on Russ, and I'm pretty sure Russ will just let him by. But we'll ride on board with Rafael so we can sort of see the passive move as it happens on track. But Russ will be trying to keep himself ahead. But I suppose a good thing is, with having these faster drivers just slightly behind him, you can follow the lines and see where you're going out on track, and see where you can pick up them vital seconds around here. But doing quite well at the moment is Russ, like I said, 8:01. To be able to get out on track. So all good at the moment for Russ, but very much learning the track. But as we said before, that, you know, and as Tom said, it's extremely hard to pass around this track. It's quite narrow, certainly with these extremely wide Mercedes cars as well. You know, it sort of limits the amount of room out on track that you can do around you. So yeah, let's just sit back, enjoy the noise of the BMW out on track, and watch the action as it unfolds. So I'll have a quick breather, and then we'll rejoin the action very soon. Hello, as we just saw there, we just saw Raphael Henson doing an overtake on Russ Fowler, probably on the most obvious part of the track to make the passing move done, coming down the long straight after the dot and the hole. So, pretty much not a lot Russ could have done. So he's increasing his lap time. Current lap time on there was at 8 minutes and 8. The guys around him are a little bit quicker at the moment, but certainly shaved around about 3 seconds off the lap time. So following these cars is helping Russ out quite a lot on the track to show him the optimal lines. But I'm pretty sure that Russ is enjoying it slightly in that car, but also very nervous going around this track, which can be quite daunting a track to follow, but a good learning curve before the hour-long race that we do have in our new series coming up very shortly. In fact, the next Sunday, a week tomorrow, is the very first and inaugural round of the Performance Link GT3 Cup. Going to 12 different rounds, 3 races a month with a couple of weeks off. Takes us through the winter months when we're not doing very much, so it's a good thing to get out on track and just see what you can do. Really looking forward to it. Going to be one of the commentators for the season on that championship. A lot of big names that I recognise racing in that series. But also a lot of newcomers, which is, as we talked about before, very much a staple part of any iRacing league is to get the young blood in, give them the experience, because we all know what the official series on iRacing are very much like. So it'd be a good experience for them to see what the other side's like in league racing. But just find Performance Link's Discord channel if you want to come and join us on the grid. We do have 4 classes available, pro all the way down to a brand new rookie class. It sounds bad, I think, rookie, but that is for very much like 1K iRacers and under. But then we've got some pros in the series at 6K, so pretty much catering for the whole range, the whole spectrum in the iRacing spectrum, should we say, from the newcomers to the very experienced. Always see Russ go a little bit wide there, losing a little bit of speed as he come up very easily done here at the Nordschleife. But let's just have a look around the field at the moment. Look at second place, just currently 37 seconds at the moment behind first place. So first place there really stretching their leg. They were 17 seconds ahead after the first round of pit stops, now 37 seconds. Third place 18 seconds behind. So the top 3 pretty well spread out at the moment. And you can see there, fourth place currently driven by Waldman, currently 53 seconds behind P2. So the top 4 really stretching the field out, but then it starts getting a little bit interesting from 5th back. We can see Berman there 5 seconds behind Waldman in 5th place. Then we've got Alberts, who's hot on his heels at the moment, just trying to close that gap down a little bit. We can see there currently on board with Bergman, but Alberts is literally trying to chase him down to get that 5th position overall out on the race. So certainly close one to call there. Mastra's only 1 second behind, 1.6 seconds behind them there in 7th place. Then we've got a bit of a gap going forward. Probably the next biggest battle looking further back on track is Wolfgang Janik and Maximilian Groskis there on track, 1 second behind, so trying to chase it down. Currently has a little bit of gap behind, 9.5 seconds to Jan Astrom, just further back, who's got a little bit of no man's land, 9 seconds ahead, 6.6 seconds behind. So does have the ability to just to take it a little bit easy. But then we sort of work further down the field, and the battle we were watching with Russ is currently 1.7, probably around about 3 minutes as we look at our leader here. Behind, yeah, 3.5 minutes behind is Russ Fowler to the current leader. So pretty much, well, just about a third of a lap ahead is P1 out on track. If we have a look at the map, we'll be able to see out on track where he is. You can see there on the map, all spread out currently across the Nordschleife. It just shows the difference in speed between a lot of the drivers at the moment. I mean, first place currently doing 750 lap times. P2 and P3 754s. And then it looks like Florian Wildman had a bit of an issue. His last lap was an 8-minute 56 out on track. But I can see that we've had another crash. So let's have a look. It's Nadvin Yarvin here, currently in P20th. So let's have a look, see what happened to him actually out on the Nordschleife. So this probably won't be good. Oh, literally just losing it and then really hits the barrier on the exit of the corner. Luckily not getting caught up in any other cars. And I wonder if he has any damage. We'll go live now and look at his car, look internally just to see if he does have any damage to his steering, or if he's just pretty much just crumpled up the front. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage. Still seems to have a little bit of pace. It does have in there. You're on coming down onto the out the Dotton Hole, down onto the long straight. So be able to see here if there is certainly any steering damage to that car. And it certainly doesn't look like it at the moment. So luckily got away with that one. So we'll have to see. But we're just seeing here as well, Anthony Pitchard. Let's have a look at this. He seems to have had an issue. Oh, yeah, literally came off at a corner. And pretty much just beached the car there. Let's see if we can get it a little bit further back to see what happened on the track. So we're watching here just before that incident, coming around the corner, coming out. Well, let's have a look. It might be a little bit late. Oh, literally, that looks like a hardware issue, surely, because he literally did not turn for that corner. Really beached in there. You can see the smoke coming from the front, and deciding to take the long road back to the pits. And obviously, if you do decide to go back to the pits in here, you're probably talking about 8 to 10 minutes towback time for the drivers out on track. But yeah, so it was interesting predicament there, and an unfortunate one, certainly if you get a hardware failure around here into this race. So currently 1.5 hours into the 4-hour race, not even halfway at the moment. We can see there, you know, pretty much everyone's spread out. There is a battle for 6th and 7th at the moment between Hendrik Albert and Michel Mastra there in 7th. So Mastra really putting a lot of pressure on Albert to try and get that 6th position. So these two at the moment really battling out on track. I mean, we look further down the field, pretty much spread out. The next one is it's gonna be Tobias Gann there in P15th, trying to track down Matthias Russ. So these two having a really good battle. So it's a BMW versus a Mercedes battle out on track. But we'll just join back and see how Russ is getting on at the moment. Looks like he has lost another position to Manny Struck in front of him in the BMW. Getting a lot quicker now. He's got his last lap was an 8-minute 6, so he's gone from an 8:11 to an 8:8 to an 8:6. So really getting his feet here under the table is Russ. Probably starting to enjoy it a little bit more out on track Still a little bit slower than the cars around him. So the car in front did an 8:01 the last lap, 5 seconds different. The car behind 7:58, so about 8 seconds quicker. So currently only 4.7. Probably lose that position then, but then behind him we got Nadav Yaron, who's 31 seconds behind. So it's not all doom and gloom for Russ. Good experience for him, and the good thing is he's getting consistently quicker each lap that he's doing, so we'll gain in valuable experience, and you can pretty much do your experience round the track on your own, but you just can't pay for the experience of racing in a competitive race with other cars of similar power out on track to you. So it really gives you that flavour of the racing, and just showing how close it can be is we see Rush there literally using all of the curbs again. Oh, and there we see, well, that wouldn't have been a welcome sight at all, seeing a car literally spun around the other way, and I wonder if that was Elizabeth van der Berg. Let's have a look and see if it was. No, it wasn't. He literally looks, or she looks like looks like she. I'm assuming Elizabeth is a she. Oh, actually, it stopped down track, so must have got a little bit more damage. Let's have a look further back from that to see if we can see what possibly happened there. So we'll join on board a little bit further back. Nice entry through there, coming down into, oh no, is it the classic mistake out on the Nürburgring going into the carousel? I believe that is the second one there. Literally, you got to stay within that banked area of the carousels, or else you see there what Elizabeth did, and literally go off the end, hit the one, and must have damaged the steering out on track on that, and unfortunately had to tow back to the pit. So very easily done here at the Nürburgring to get that sort of damage, and that momentary lapse of concentration will put pay to your race, and there's nothing worse. Certainly if this was a 24 hours getting into the latter stages and you make a little silly mistake, because unlike probably a lot of the leagues, they do have like fast repair available, but certainly in these official series, not so kind, and literally any sort of damage does have to be fully repaired within the pit lane, and half the time if it's a suspension, you're looking at around about 15 minutes repair time. So a hefty bill to be had if you do make one of them slight mistakes. But Russ at the moment seems to be having a consistent so we just joined it back here with Russ there, looking as he went well on the carousel there. So that was a perfect illustration of how to do it. Literally follow that line all the way down, and then just spit out wide and get back on the power. So Russ doing exceptionally well at the moment, and obviously, like we say, getting quicker every single lap. So yeah, enjoying it out there. I think Russ, it'd be interesting to see if he can come and join us after his stint to see how that went for him. But I'm pretty sure, as always, if you know Russ, he's a very excitable chap, is our Russ, and I'm pretty sure he'll be stoked just actually getting around here, I think, at the end of the day. But yeah, it's all interesting. But we'll see if Tom at the moment is around and free to come and join us back in the box. So Tom, are you still with us, mate?
Hello. Yes, I'm still here. Still here.
Yeah, so Tom seems to be
Alive and
doing well.
kicking.
His lap times are doing a lot better. Obviously, started at 8:11s and now getting down to 8:6s. So gaining a little bit of confidence out there.
Yeah, he's finally starting to get his feet, isn't he? Get his groove a little bit. So not making too many mistakes, and hitting the apexes like he should. So he's doing very very well at the moment. So I do have some hot off the press performance link news, Andy.
All right.
It does involve, I think, one of our watchers at the moment. That's Mr. Scotty Mokes. So I've
Ah,
managed to twist his arm, and he has mentioned he's going to run for Performance Link in the pros in this upcoming season. So he's managed
that's
to
good.
give in. We've
Oh,
hammered
that'd
him
be.
down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Russ is. Sorry, should I say Scott is obviously in the channel. I can see him there. I don't know if you want to come in, Scotty, for a quick word. We can drag you in on the broadcast, and we can have a chat with you if you want, if you so wish, or if you want to stay anonymous and just be a keyboard warrior. We'll understand that as well.
Keyboard
Good
warrior.
old Scott. I do like Scott though. He's a really nice chap. As a very quick racer. Obviously, I commentated on him for the Porsche league that I was commentated on, and I pretty much I think he likes my BBC commentator voice, like very calm and deep. So not very excitable. I do get excitable at times though when it's really needed and called for.
Yeah, you do get excited, especially if I'm driving the McLaren. I've noticed.
Well, McLaren is just one of them cars, you know. A lot of people don't like it, but I just absolutely love it. It's probably the best looking GT3 car in my opinion. And when you get it at night with the flames coming out the back, I mean, what's there not to love about that car?
Well, exactly. Yeah,
Apart from
it's
it's not that fast.
definitely an animal.
Apart
Definitely
from
an
it's not
animal.
that
So,
fast.
so I've just seen that Scotty's replied, and I hope he doesn't mind me calling him Scotty. Scott has replied and said he has got a second. So,
All right, let's see if
Scott,
we.
if you want to jump in let's say the interview waiting area in the voice channels on the Performance Link Discord, then we'll get Andy to drag you in, and with his magical communication powers, and
Yeah,
you can have a
well,
little chit chat.
yeah. Let's see if we can get our very own Scotty Mokes, one of the pro drivers in the new league. So it'll be interesting to have a chat to him about what he's looking forward to about the league and a little bit of insight to him. But we'll see if he can navigate to either the interview waiting area or the chat and chill room, and we'll drag him into the stream to have a chat with us. So we'll sort of see where he can get on. So let's have a look. But yeah, currently we are 1 minute 40. I wish 1 hour 40 into this race, so approaching 20 minutes to half race distance. So what you did 9 laps, Tom. So we're probably expecting Russ to follow suit. Currently on lap 13. So has about another 5 laps to go. What was his last lap time? Let's have a look. So an 8:06. So getting consistent there around the 8:06 times. But I can see we do have Scott waiting in the wings. So let's, without further ado, bring him in. Welcome, Scott, to the broadcast, and thanks for joining us, mate.
Hi guys, yeah, no problem at all. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so obviously we're just watching the Performance Links guys doing the 4 hour endurance around the Nürburgring. One of the races in the new league for the Performance Links, which you have very kindly decided to be a part of. What's your expectations, and how much are you looking forward to the new league starting on the 2nd of October?
All right, I'm super excited. The amount of energy that comes with a new league, you can't really match. And yeah, Tom's been twisting my arm, as he said, and yeah, I'm joining Performance Link Esports for this coming up league. So yeah,
Awesome.
I'm super excited for this.
So obviously we're looking at the 12 rounds. Is there any particular round that you're really looking forward to out on the calendar?
You know what? It's probably the more the UK tracks. So Silverstone, Donington, because I've actually raced around them in real life. So I've got some first-hand experience around there. So I'm hoping that will move over to the sim.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are an extremely quick driver with a ridiculous alien rating, I rating. So you'll get you're a mini alien, I would say. You're not quite at the 10k, but you're certainly over the 5k. So you're halfway there, mate, to getting full alien status going on, where big things will probably happen. But Scott, just tell us a little bit how you got into iRacing and how you've managed to get up to your stratospheric iRating, because I'll certainly like to know of near enough 6k.
Well, it started off with a classic lockdown. Um, Bored at home, bought a PC and a rig I built myself. Then found out iRacing even existed. Started on that, then started obviously in the Mazdas, then went to the Porsche, and absolutely loved the Porsche. And I stuck with the one car, and then a lot of people said it was one of the hardest cars to master. So I thought, I'm going to stick with it and see what I can do. Ended up doing probably about one race a week, but with a full week of practice, so then I could get good results out of it. And that's pretty much how I ended up getting up the iRate in scale.
I think that's pretty much like all of us. I certainly started in the lockdown as well. I wasn't as adventurous as you, and I actually joined the masses and bought one of the rigs. So I'm assuming it's a little bit better than a couple of wooden planks with some sticks for acceleration and brake, mate.
It was angle metal out of old shelving units I used welded together. But now I've upgraded. Now I've got a full proper rig now.
Well, I mean, obviously, to get up to them levels, I think you do need to make that steps. But I mean, there's probably a lot to say about the gear that you do have. I mean, obviously, we see there's some exceptional gears out on there. You got a heavily now sort of the direct drive impact, but I suppose even for like lower end races, getting something like the belt driven ones, you can still have a lot of fun and still make a lot of progress. You don't have to sort of always end up buying like the 10k rigs that we see a lot of the drivers have to have a bit of fun out there, do we, Scott?
No, to be honest, I've never actually experienced direct drive myself. I'm running Thrustmaster belt driven at the minute, so it's possible to do good on the belt driven stuff as well.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we're watching Russ at the moment, very much new to the Nordschleife. What's your experience around this track? Are you familiar with it, and are you looking forward to this round?
I know when there's a left and when there's a right. I still need to learn where the braking points are and where you need to be off power over crests and stuff like that. But I know the track. I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was always good, and I know you were super excited when we sort of made the first initial conception of possibly making a performance link, and I knew you were a big advocate, and I also know that you obviously let's put out the olive branch to be able to say anything that we wanted. So I really appreciate joining the league. It's always hard for a brand new league to get set up. Anybody can set the league up, but it's enticing the people in there. So I appreciate the fact that you were one of the first people to sign up to the leagues once we got it all sort of buttoned down, and obviously the always the constant offer of any help that we can do. So I super appreciate that, Scott, and it's certainly good to have you on board, mate. But before we let you go, mate, is anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or anything like that?
Yeah, always got to give a shout out to Mrs. Haley. She always puts up with all of this pretty much every night. So shout out to her, and a shout out to all of you guys as well at Performance Link. And we look forward to the future for this one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, really thanks, and I appreciate you coming to join us, giving me something else to talk about, being the lone commentator around this extremely long track with not a lot of too much battling on, but I really appreciate you joining us, Scott.
No problem at all. Yeah, the Nordschleife can be a tricky one. Anytime you need me, give me a call.
I know there's too many corner names. Unfortunately, I don't know them all, so I'll just say the corner. There you go. I know the
Yeah, I don't know them either, so don't feel bad.
Definitely, but appreciate you coming to join us in the box, Scott. Cheers, mate.
No problem at all. Take care.
So there was Scott Monks there, one of the drivers that are going to come and join us on the grid, one of the pro drivers, one of the top drivers. So I'd expect him to certainly be up there challenging for the top 3 positions within the championship when it does kick off next week. It's going to be a super interesting one. And yeah, it's going to be a challenge. We've got quite a few, as well as the top end drivers, we have got quite a few low end iRacing drivers out on track. I think it ranges from, say, 800 iRating all the way up to 7K iRating. So really big spectrum of drivers at the moment. But we're just obviously while we were chatting there to Scotty, just looking at Russ, and he has actually just done his fastest lap to date, an 8:05.8. So really enjoying himself at the moment. So 13 laps in, done 4 laps around here, around the Nordschleife. Would expect to see him in round about lap 18 to hand over to Tom again. But Tom, always good to... Oh, no! As we watch Russ there, just completely losing it out of that corner, hitting the barrier really hard. And, that might be some damage to his steering. So let's have a look on board at the moment. Is he suffering? Still managing to... keep going. Doesn't look like there's too much damage. That was a pretty hard hit there, though, Tom.
Yeah, it certainly was. Sorry. No, I'm still here. Sorry, I was just jumping in on. I was just jumping in on team chat there with Russ for a second. He's relayed back that the steering, by some miracle, actually feels all right. So I'm looking forward to getting into the old battle axe of the Mercedes when his stint ends at the end of this lap.
I mean, that's is he coming in the end of this lap? Is he?
Yeah, he's currently got 1.2 estimated laps remaining, so
Right.
he'll be bringing it in at the end of this one.
Yeah, definitely is. But pretty much be a heavily damaged car there as we look on screen. But that Mercedes is a strong old beast. Doesn't look like there's too much damage on there, so must have hit it square on. You can see the left hand wing there pretty much bent back. But see Russ going a little bit. Oh no, that is the line for that corner. I thought he was going out a little bit wide there again, but yeah. But as Tom said, there's some sort of miracle that it didn't cause a lot of damage, because they're the sort of hits and come-offs the track that you can cause a lot of damage. Oh, as he sees it a little bit again, can he save it again? So really struggling on this last lap here, losing a little bit of concentration, but that's easily done around this track. As soon as you have a little bit of an off, you start almost second guessing yourself, and you start making a lot of silly mistakes. You just need to try and bring it home nice and safely here, Russ. To hand over to Tom. So there must be a slight little bit of damage there, Tom, on that car.
Yeah, I think the more times he comes off, the more likely there is to be damage. But I can't say anything. I had a bit of an off earlier, and I wish I could have avoided that other collision, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. A lot of people that win endurance races win it by just staying out of trouble.
It certainly is.
It's the main thing.
Certainly is, but he's had a good innings, and I'll let you get back to him, Tom, to probably calm him down just to get him in for this in lap here.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. I'll get him to come and have a chat with you when he gets out of the seat.
Yeah, definitely, mate. All right, just warm yourself up, mate, for your stint.
Yeah, will do. I'm rubbing my hands together already.
Cheers. As we see Russ just faltering a little bit on this in lap there, but Tom has said for a bit of insider information that the car seems to be driving okay. Looks like it's driving okay. Doesn't crab. Doesn't look like the steering's damaged at all. So a very lucky escape there for Russ to what could have been a bit of a disaster out on track, but. Yeah. Oh, as he takes a little bit of off track. Really needs to get that car back in at the moment. He's probably Yeah, he's probably shouting at himself. I'm not sure if he's using his VR headset. Russ does use a VR headset, so I've never used one myself, so I'm not sure. Not sure how they are themselves, but yeah, I suppose when you have a spinning crash, it's a bit disorientated when it goes out. But yeah, Russ coming in on his final lap, still 12 seconds behind is John Brendan Walsh. Behind him, trying to chase him in the BMW, and his lap times are, well, they were slower than Russ's. So Russ was going, but I think this lap time will not be his best, shall we say? But just trying to bring the car home for Tom to get in the seat. So very very fast approaching half distance here in this 4-hour race. Out on track, so it's going to be interesting. But we can see a sort of passing move there for P6 out on track. We do have a few drivers that are coming into the pits for their second stop, so we will maybe see some changes out. As we see on the timing tower there, we've got Michael Mastra in the pit, Alexander Gronas, Hendrik Albertson from P5. The top driver at the moment has changed over. Nicholas Couto is currently in the seat again for that car, so they've managed to change their drivers and get out, and pretty hefty lead there, 21 seconds ahead of second Prake Frank Kozan. Has he come in? I'm not sure if he's actually had his pits, but I'm pretty sure that is a change of driver at the top of the field for them, but they will all be coming in for their second stop. You can sort of see the mid pack. You see Albert's in the pits, Daniel Lung's just come into the pits, Michael Mastra in, Andy Corsia managing to pick up some extra positions there in P6, driving out, so he's coming, but he still owes us a pit stop. Same with Jan Ostrom in front of him in P5, so sure that will all change back as soon as these guys up the front that still need to pit do decide to pit in. So yeah, so we'll look literally just join Russ again back. So looks like he's got over the worst of the issue coming down the long straight, so we'll probably be reeling a sigh of relief that he's coming to his end of mistake. Obviously he had a really good stint, but sort of unravelled a little bit on this lap, but still managed to keep the car going, hasn't damaged the car too much, just a little bit of cosmetic front end damage on that Mercedes, but very hefty tank, that Mercedes, so can take a little bit of punishment as we watch Russ coming into the pit lane here out on track. But yeah, it's all going good at the moment as we watch him trundling down pit lane to hand over to Tom, who will enjoy his second stint out on track. So Tom doing around about 8-minute 1 is his fastest lap, so just hitting under the 8:02 into the 8:01.95, so not sure if he'll be able to do any quicker out on track with that car being as damaged as it is. But yeah, it's certainly interesting here today. This is very much a warm-up broadcast for the brand new Performance Links GT3 Cup starting next Sunday. The grid is starting to fill up quite nicely, around about 40 cars at the moment expected out on there. And I think what is really good and is going to be a really difference to this league is having points by class. A lot of the leagues do points by positions. What that does do is it sort of over a 12-round season, you can get the gulfs between positions, and people lose a lot of interest then when there's absolutely no chance for them to gain positions. But in the Performance Link League, it's not by overall position, it's by class position. So, there's no real opportunity that drivers will get huge advantages over the rest of the field due to the points being quite close I think there's only like 3 points difference between first and second, then 2 from second to third, and then from third downwards it's only 1 point difference based on your finishing place within your class. So as you can see there, it's going to be extremely close, and what that will mean is there'll be a lot of battling for positions. I'd expect a lot of changes in the championship, and to be going down to sort of like the last round of the season to be the championship winner of each of the classes. Currently looking at possibly 4 classes we're going to be trying to get out on tracks. We got a pro-am, and then a rookie, and then basically from there, we've got trophies for the top 3, some excellent prizes for the winner. I think there's a cash prize for first and second, first in the pros. We've got some CSL Elite pedals for amateurs. We've got some driving tuitions for the AMs and the rookies by one of our pro drivers that are racing in the series, Mr. Thomas Cope, so thank you to him. And we've also got some gloves and boots, as well as some like goodie bags from Performance Link themselves to for best driver, least incident, and the most person that's been to the rounds. So a lot of prizes up for grabs, including team prizes. So some excellent prizes for them, as well as all the trophies which everybody loves to have, and it's for the top 3 in class. So it's not just the champion that gets a trophy, the top 3, but there is something special about the top trophy if you do win the championship, is that it's going to be a bespoke made trophy for the winners of the 4 classes, as well as the team championship. So something that nobody else will ever have or ever will do in the future, a bespoke trophy for the winners of each championship. But 12 rounds, fixed setups, so no worrying about setups. So it's all purely going to be down to the drivers on the track and the slight differences that we do have. Looking at the spread of cars that we've got, probably the Porsche seems to be making a really big comeback at the moment on there. A lot of drivers deciding to go with the Porsche. They pretty much ruined. As we see Tom there doing a little bit, luckily get into a section where there's a lot of grass, so that's probably a quicker line there for Tom, but probably not the one he originally decided to make. But we saw that from Tom there. But just enjoy that back for our viewers here on Performance Link, of even how the mighty Tom can fall here. So sorry Tom, I'm literally going to have to watch this back here. Coming up, what happens here? Does he clip a corner? Sorts of lose it well before it, then decides to take the grass here and literally just carves it out size of that curve. The car nearly flips with the size, but luckily manages to take that at the part where there's grass to go off. So extremely lucky there from Tom to not bin it as such. So he still lives to fight another day, does Tom, who's in his second stint here as we trundle over the half race distance around here. But let's just have a look at the YouTube channel to see who's out there. So we got Andrew Broom saying, hi guys, hi Andy, nice to see you again mate, not seen you for a long time. So TCR Racing 4X, time given 5 minutes to get on, haha. So we'll see if they come. But we got our very own Russ, Scott Mokes, and Russ in the channel as well. So yeah, thanks to all the people who've come to join us in this, what was supposed to be a short broadcast, but I've seemed to got in my little bit of groove here, and just getting on as we watch Tom losing a place out there to Matthias Gerhard in the BMW. So that Mercedes probably has lost a bit of top end speed out on track here at the Nordschleife. So it's very much just a warm-up broadcast and a warm-up driving event for the two guys, Russ and Tom, doing this 4-hour official Nürburgring session on iRacing, but it's always good to stretch the lungs, I suppose, and I suppose that's why I'm not racing, is that I don't even think I would make it around one lap of this place without probably stoving the car in. So those that can't do talk, I think, and I've decided to embrace that saying and just commentate on it. At least that way I'm not the cause of anyone, because I think my endurance record isn't been exactly glittering in glory the times I have done, but I really enjoy doing them. But yeah, there's a lot of added pressure when you start coming down to team events. You not only got to do it for yourself, you got to do it for your teammates, which adds a lot more pressure. And with the added pressure of driving around this Nordschleife, I think I would probably buckle under it. So yeah, I'll just stick to the commentary out on track and just see how we get on. But yeah, let's have a look up and down the field at the moment, see what's going. We've got Niels Reeks here in P11th at the moment, getting hotly chased by Christian Dams there just behind him in P12, so quite close battle for P11th, just only 1.2 seconds behind at the moment. The front end of the field, pretty much, you know, the gap there is stretching. So first to second you got 34 seconds, second to third you got 32 seconds, and then third to fourth you got 42 seconds. So the front four really spread out in this race at the moment, and Nicolas Couto at the front is doing an exceptional job just keeping it. It was 37 seconds was the gap beforehand, so keeping it around about that. Lost a little bit of time to Kozan there in second place to the tune of 3 seconds, but around a lap of 7-8 minutes, that's not a lot of time there at all to do. So you can just see there P18 going over the line, 9 minutes 24. So you know the times are extremely varied, but the average time around here is around about the 8 minutes. So Vadas there must have had an issue out on track to lose that, and yeah, I can see there. So let's have a look back at where Vadas came off on the track. So we just have a look at a replay here out on track, and let's have a look. Very easy mistake to possibly make here, coming into a corner, probably keeping the grass, trying to use all the track. So let's see what happens here. Is it going to show it in here? Should do. So a very long anticipated wait to see what happens. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there coming over the hill, and does he lose it down into the corner? Let's have a look. Nope, manages to keep it. Oh, not sure where he came off. I'll have a look and see if I can find it. But that was a 9:24 last lap from Vardalos in 14th place. So certainly lost a lot of time out there on track. So yeah, easy mistakes to make, but we're joining that battle again for P11 at the moment. Christian Dance, Niels Rikus right onto the tail now of Christian, just trying to make that passing move done as we ride on board with Niels coming up. Only half a second gap, and so it's going to be interesting to see how he can make the passing move out on field. So just going to take a little bit of a break here, and we'll just remain with Niels to see if he can make the passing move on Christian in front. So I'll be back very shortly. Hi guys, welcome back to just watching a test stream here for the new Performance Link League that's starting next Sunday. Currently watching a 4-hour endurance race around the Nordschleife, 2 hours 10 minutes gone, so into the second half of the race. And we do now have joining us Russ. Welcome, Russ, to the box. How was that stint for you? Looked like you got a lot quicker over time, but then sort of struggled on your in lap there.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't raced this circuit much in this car, so the first lap was a bit of a disaster, and then the last lap was a bit of a disaster. So, but the laps in the middle I was quite happy with, and yeah, just sort of chipping off a second or so each lap. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
It takes such a long time to learn this track. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. It's such a long track. 8 minutes around here is an extremely long way to go. Obviously, you know, like you said, it takes time to learn this track, but you're certainly getting faster. You started off with 8:11, then you got down to 8:08, then it was 8:06, and then it was sort of 8:05. So you certainly started to get quicker towards the end of your stint. So I suppose it's all valuable practice for one of the rounds in the upcoming Performance League GT3 Cup. So valuable experience for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's worth taking it a bit easy, which I find quite difficult sometimes. So I think, you know, consistency is king around here. Not taking too many risks, but yeah, adrenaline probably got the better of me in the first lap, so that put that out the window. And once you've got a bit of damage, that, you know, the straights are so long that you can lose a lot of time if you've got any aero damage. So, but yeah, good practice. Looking forward to this league. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So obviously, just talking about the league, 12 rounds GT3. Car that you're quite familiar with, did obviously exceptionally well in the last GT3 trophy, obviously winning the AMS after a long hard slog to try and win something. What rounds are you looking forward to, and what are you most looking forward to in this league?
Well, I think there's only 2 tracks on the calendar that I'm not so keen on. So, which is Sebring and Indianapolis. The rest of the tracks I love. So, I love Suzuka, Spa. Even though this track is hard, I like Lords as well. Watkin Glen I quite like as well. So yeah, you know, pick some really good tracks there, I think, for the season. So yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned Indianapolis. Indianapolis is not on there. I'm not sure which one you meant. Maybe Daytona.
Oh, isn't it? Daytona, sorry.
Daytona.
Always getting those two mixed.
Yeah. One of the 24-hour circuits.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I think I was put off slightly because my very first GT3 race in the Ferrari was there in another league, and it was just horrendous for me. I was just all over the shop. So I'm scarred. Maybe I'll learn to love it. I don't know, but we'll see. You tend to love the circuits you do well on, right? That's just natural, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and obviously you being one of the big patrons of the new league and kindly sponsoring some of the prizes in there. So just tell us a little bit about obviously you and obviously the company that you own, and how people could get a hold of you if they need some help.
Yeah, so the company's called Green Future Technology Consulting. It's there's only 2 of us. It's a small company. We specialise in IT sustainability. So, you know, anybody, even if you're an IT professional, or maybe you do IT procurement, or or just just interested in general in how to do IT more sustainably. That's kind of what we specialize in. So trying to do our bit for the planet, get the word out there. Believe me, there are much more sustainable ways of consuming IT services. So that's what we do.
Yes, and obviously you iRace as well, so do the best of both worlds, saving the planet and saving tyres and just using them up on iRacing, mate.
Well, basically, I think virtual racing. I've always fancied doing the calculations actually and working out how much more, less of greenhouse gases are used when you race virtually instead of physically. But I haven't got around to doing the calculations. It's not completely, free of. It has a carbon footprint. There are lots of servers running around the world running this stuff, so it's not completely free of it, but when you compare it to burning all the fossil fuels and denting out all that lovely metal,
Exactly. I mean, obviously, from a cost from a pocket point of view, is probably save quite a lot racing on iRacing.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, it's just a few quid.
I think you'd certainly be crying if you smashed your brand new Ferrari around Daytona. That's for sure, mate.
But this is why I love sim racing because it makes it so accessible. It gets a lot more people into racing than ever had access to it. So, I think that's just a brilliant thing.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is, and obviously a big thanks for myself and Tom at Performance Link for obviously the kind donations that you've given to the prizes in this, and also obviously for participating in it. I know you are a big advocate and love, and obviously racing in the Performance Link team, which should do quite well. You seem to have quite a strong team. Obviously, getting Scotty Mokes in as well. It's sort of firmed up your team, and you got a really good opportunity to win that. Probably a lot of the other drivers and teams will try to make that not happen, but there's a good opportunity there.
Definitely, but looking at some of the other teams, and I've raced with a lot of the guys before. There's some really good teams there. So no chickens will be counted. But I like to think we might have a home advantage, or something. I don't know.
I don't think that works on virtual platforms.
Doesn't really. No, I know. Just wishful thinking.
No, it certainly doesn't, mate. But how did you get into the sim racing? Was it the good old lockdown scenario? That seems to be a lot of people's entry into here. And tell us a little bit about your rig. And obviously, I did mention that you do normally race with VR, so just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I got into it about 18 months, 2 years ago, something like that. And I've always loved racing. I have never done anything in terms of cars on tracks, but I do loads of track days on my motorbike. So which is obviously brilliant fun because you get to scrape your knee around the bends. It's a bit more physical. So I've always loved speed. Love racing. And I guess I hadn't. I think actually probably was something to do with lockdown because I had a bit of extra time and I had this idea that I was commuting to work for 45 minutes, an hour every morning. I was commuting home from work 45 minutes to an hour every evening. So I thought, and I wasn't doing that anymore. And I thought it was a great excuse, one that I could get past the wife. That I do. This is my commute. My morning. I do a race in the morning and a race in the evening, and that's my kind of morning and evening commute. And that seemed to have stood me in good stead actually. In terms of my rig, it's pretty basic because I don't have the screens because I race in VR exclusively. I don't have any screens or anything set up. So I've got a like a next level racing chair which I kind of slide into the corner of my office and then slide it out when I want to use it. Got some Fanatec gear, so I've gradually kind of upgraded. I started with some Logitech stuff actually that my wife bought me. Actually, come to think of it, that's what happened. My wife for my birthday bought me a steering wheel and the pedals and a play seat. Yeah, and that's I think I'd wanted to buy one for a while and she picked up on that and got it for my birthday. So yeah, I have my wife to thank about actually thinking about it. But, yeah. So yeah.
I do like the excuse of because you work from home that my
Yeah.
morning and evening commuting is an iRacing race. That's classic. I mean, I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever heard that. That's great.
Well, it's just as intense as riding around the M25 on my motorbike. Believe me, weaving in and out of the traffic. It's a similar level of focus required.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. But
Mm.
no, great to chat to you, Russ, and obviously to find out a little bit of insight to you. Obviously, you are racing in this, so I'm pretty sure you'll be getting back into the seat after Tom to have your
Oh,
second
yes.
seat. So hopefully you get a bit quicker, and hopefully your in lap's a lot better this time, mate.
Yeah, I hope so. Cheers.
Cheers, Russ, mate. Great for
See you
joining us.
later.
So there was Russ there joining us in the booth to just get a little bit of insight for him. Obviously, brand new to, or literally brand new to Nordschleife. Done a couple of laps and think where we're at. But unfortunately, that's going to be the end of this stream at the moment. Obviously, I did a little bit longer than anticipated. Just going to have a quick chat at the YouTube channel. So yeah, thanks to everybody in the channel for joining us for what was a test session. And I'll probably leave you now with what is our 5-minute intro video, which our very own Tom put together. So thanks for joining me here today, and look forward to the brand new league next Sunday, starting at Watkin Glen, one of my absolute favourite tracks on iRacing, so it should be an absolute blast. But from myself, Andy Thompson, and from the rest of the team here at the Nürburgring, I'm going to bid you farewell, and hopefully either see you on the grid, or please come and join us in the channel to watch the exciting racing as it unfolds. So thank you very much.